Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? Can you guys hear me and see me? Is the stream working? Hi, Lolly. Good, good, good. I'm happy it's working, and I'm seeing a couple of new names. Sing Plang, you say you haven't done a stream in a long time. Well, good to have you back. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Jacqueline, Imad, Igor, Miriam, Jamil, Mike. Nice, nice. Rodgal, right on. Gertie. The sound is not too good, Gertie. Maybe I can try moving this a little bit. Let me know if that helps. Hopefully that helps. Good. I hope everyone is doing well. We just had a long weekend here in Vancouver. Monday, yesterday, was Family Day. So we got the day off, and unfortunately my family is far away, but I got to spend it with friends, so that was good. Friends are like family, right? Okay, I'm going to change the screen here. And today, if you were curious, we are going to add a little more into reported speech. We're going to do one more stream on another way of reporting, okay? No, Mike, today it's a beautiful sunny day, actually. Very rare winter weather, but yeah, it's beautiful. Bluebird, we say. Totally blue sky. And tomorrow as well. That's for sure, Maya. Yeah, I love my friend time. Good. Okay, I'm going to make this bigger, and we're going to get going. So, welcome to anyone who is new in the chat. Feel free to comment and ask questions and participate. And yeah, I'll be streaming for an hour, 3 to 4. Hello, Augusto. Friends are the best, definitely. Friends are your chosen family, right? Igor, Family Day, it's basically you celebrate family and friendship, and it just kind of a time for all of the working moms and dads to have that day with their kids. And many people do, you know, family activities, whether it's going ice skating or snowboarding or skiing or tobogganing if there's snow, going for walks, yeah, have family dinners, just time with family. Hi, Birkin. Okay, so reported speech. The last few units, Augusto, you're a freshman in the channel, right on. Well, that's totally cool. You'll be a senior in no time. My name's Julia, and I've been doing this for a while now, and yeah, it's been fun. OHW, I don't know if you say O, but I'm not really sure on that answer. I think it's different for everybody, and it definitely depends on how much exposure you get and how much you practice, and everybody is so different for that, so no one answer. Omar, I do have a document that we'll work with, and I'll be sharing it in the chat at the end of the stream, okay? So I think everyone's ready. We'll get started. So just a recap, last few weeks with reported speech, we were focusing just on using said or told for statements and asked for questions, okay? But today, and we also focused on back-shifting the tense, changing the grammar tense, changing pronouns, changing possessive adjectives. But today we are going to use a different structure of reported speech, one that's very common and very good to practice, okay? So we'll get into it. Let's begin. Look at this dialogue here. We've got speaker A, speaker B, excuse me. Sue, do you want to see that documentary about UFOs and aliens with me tonight? And speaker B says, what about a different movie? Andy saw it last week and said that it was terrible. Here's the report. He warned me not to see it. Okay, so here is a different structure that we haven't seen yet. And we're using the reporting verb warned. Okay, I'm going to be taking some water while we do it today. Okay. So, another way of reporting what people say is to use verbs that give us more information about what was said. In this level, we're going to focus on these verbs, okay? As you can see there, tell and ask are there as well, but they are used differently, okay? Advise, invite, order, beg, warn, remind. These are all different reporting verbs, and it's important to use them in different situations to give a better report to the listener so they can kind of picture what was said more clearly when you use these kinds of verbs. What accent do I speak? Well, I am Canadian from Ontario, from the East Coast, so I guess an East Coast dialect. Okay, so there is a form that you should follow, and it goes with, subject, and then reporting verb, and then somebody who's receiving, and then not if it's negative, and then to with the infinitive, the base verb, okay? Rodgal has an example. She advised me not to go out with Jim. Exactly. Yes, there are. Depending on where you are, but definitely there's a difference in the accent. Some people in America don't sound much different than people from Canada, but depends where you are. Here, look at some examples, and we will look at the form of reporting, and then we'll do it for ourselves. Okay, so here she asked, this is direct speech, right? Would you like to study with me at the library? So this is kind of a social invitation. So it'd be nice to use the reporting verb invited. And remember, it's always in the past tense, right? So we've got subject, she, and then invited, reporting verb. Me is the somebody. Infinitive, to study with her at the library. So you don't need to backshift the grammar tenses with this way, but you do need to still change the pronouns, okay? Mike said you should spend more time at home with your family. So when we see should, you can kind of think, oh, this is like advice or a suggestion. So advised would be a nice reporting verb. Mike advised me to spend more time at home with my family. Remember, your family will need to change still to my family. Yes, I am Canadian, and yes, Americans and Canadians generally do sound different. Sometimes it's a little different, sometimes it's a lot different. So, Jim said to me, please don't be late tomorrow, please. If you see someone really pressing a request, you might use the reporting verb beg. You could always use asked. So Jim begged me not to be late tomorrow. Tomorrow could possibly change to the next day or the following day. Oh, Brizelda, welcome. Glad to have you. And Vladimir, hello. We are just talking about reported speech. Rodgal, another example, she advised them not to put a lot of makeup. Don't forget on. That's a good example, but after put, we would use on. She advised them not to put on a lot of makeup. Good. Okay, so let's start with tell. This has a very different meaning than what we studied the last few streams. Okay, when we used the last few streams, we said exactly what someone was saying. For example, I can't come to the party. She told me that she couldn't come to the party. But in this case, it's different. We are describing orders and obligations. Okay, so tell is similar to order, but it's more popular in everyday spoken English. Tell. Oh, I'm glad you've watched the videos before, 𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗲𝗀, so you know what to expect, but your first time live, maybe? That's awesome. Okay, so Jane said, leave me alone. If this is not a question, it's not a request, so you can use told. Jane told me to leave her alone. Remember, me will change to her. Okay? My father said, you have to be home by 11 p.m. tonight. So it's not a request, it's not a question. Excuse me. My father told me to be home by 11 p.m. tonight, or that night. Good. The teacher said, don't sit down yet. Okay, this is not a question, it's not a request, it's more of like a demand, right? So the teacher told us not to sit down yet. It's a little bit strong to use ordered. Mark said you have to listen carefully. So Mark told me to listen carefully. So just remember, with this form, it's more telling someone what to do and not asking. Okay, good. We're going to go through each reporting verb one by one, and then we'll think of our own examples. Okay? Ask is also different than the last few weeks' streams, because you can only use ask with this form if you are reporting the idea of a request. So a request means that you are asking for something politely, right? You want somebody to do something for you. So example, Brent asked, Michael, could you close the window? So Brent asked Michael to close the window. The teacher said, please sit down. The teacher asked the class to sit down. So again, here you might be like, well, this isn't a question. No, it's a statement, but even just the note please changes from told to asked. Okay. The man asked, would you mind giving me a hand? Okay. Giving me a hand is a very common way to ask for help. Okay. It has nothing to do with one hand, but it just means help. Yeah. The man asked me to give him a hand. Yeah. So seeing some examples in the chat, I'll just check out quickly. Gertie, my mom told me not to be late. Perfect. 𝗶𝗴𝗀𝗀𝗲, my mom told me not to stay up late. Don't forget the to. Good example though. Hello Yusra, welcome. Rodgal, they asked me to help them. Good. Again, my wife asked, please don't play the music loudly. My wife asked me not to play the music loudly. Okay, good. So just note the difference between ask and tell simply by using the word please. Okay, the teacher said, sit down. So the teacher told us to sit down. The teacher said, please sit down. The teacher asked us to sit down. Okay, so it just even the simple use of please can change the situation. Right? Another example, turn on the lights versus please turn on the lights. It can go from told to asked. Okay. Okay, hopefully everyone's good so far. We've talked about told and asked. Order. So order is very similar to tell, has the same meaning actually, but we usually only use this in more formal, more serious situations, maybe like police officers, border police, judges, just kind of like more strict and stern situations. So yeah, usually people in positions of authority, okay? And the use of tell is much more popular in everyday situations. Oh, nice, Barbara. That's cool. In Portuguese, it's the same. Gertie, my daughter asked me to wake up her at 5 a.m. Yes, her is necessary, but it must actually go in the middle of the verb and the particle. So you have to say, my daughter asked me to wake her up at 5 a.m. Yeah. Haha, Vladimir. Oh my gosh, and I feel really, really bad because I'm just remembering this right now, and I totally forgot to inquire about that. Oh my gosh, I'm very sorry, but I will make a mental note with this pen right now on paper, and I will not forget next time. Very sorry about that. If I had the power, maybe I would, but I don't have that power. Hey, Louisa! Nice to see you. I hope everything is going well with you and Patrick. Oh my God, Jackson. You can tell him I made that mistake and he'll laugh. Inside joke. So, next example, my doctor told me, so don't forget in the past tense, told me to cut back on sugar. Good. So here we have a picture of a pretty funny looking police officer. And the police said, freeze! You know, this is what police say when they mean don't move, freeze. The police ordered the man to freeze. Okay. The custom officer said, empty your bag and pockets. The custom officer ordered me to empty my bag and pockets. Okay. So this is like, again, it's a more strict, serious situation, so ordered is acceptable to use. Let's go on to beg. So beg, it's not only for, you know, unfortunate homeless people begging on the street. That's not all it is. It's also just when you really, really, really want something, okay? So a lot of children beg for candy or toys that they want, but even adults sometimes kind of beg their friends to do something with them, or, you know, any kind of situation. So the child asked, Dad, can we please go to Disneyland, please? Okay, and when you hear it in their voice, when they're like, please, 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 please. So you can report that with begged. The child begged her father to go to Disneyland. Yeah, Maya, it can be to empty. Yeah, please empty the dishwasher, for example. Or can you please empty the garbage? My roommate asked me to empty the garbage. But yeah, also an adjective. John said to Marla, Marla, please don't leave me. John begged Marla not to leave him. Gertie, my son begged me to go to the cinema to see the Sonic movie. Nice. And did you say yes? Okay, good. So we're moving on. A few more to talk about before we do our own examples. Is beg the same meaning as urge? I wouldn't say it's the same meaning, no. Urge is more like kind of like encouraging someone to do something. Like, I urge you, my friend urged me to take a vacation, or something like that. 𝗶, my professor ordered my friend's cigarette to put out. So you're kind of using a passive structure. My professor ordered my friend's cigarette to be put out, but not a common time to use passive. So I would say my professor ordered my friend to put out his cigarette or her cigarette. Hi, 𝗲. Yeah, it has been a while. Welcome back. Yeah, so beg, it's like I really, 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 really want this. And urge is like you really should do this. You should do this. It's a good thing to do. Yeah. We can also say when we have the urge to do something. It's like we want to do something. Like I have the urge to go swimming in the ocean. I want to do that. So next reporting verb is advise. Okay, this is for suggestions, recommendations, and of course advice. 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏, my mother advised me to learn how to cook. Good sentence. So when we are reporting, oftentimes if we hear the second conditional, we can think of advice, or of course should, had better. So if someone says, Jim said, if I were you, I wouldn't go to that restaurant, you could say, Jim advised me not to go to that restaurant. Okay. My teacher advised me to study English every day. Right on, Lolly. Good sentence. So again here, Stephen said, you should try harder. Should is a signal word for advice, right? So Stephen advised us to try harder. Next reporting verb is invite, and of course if it's some kind of social gathering, you can use this reporting verb, okay? Oh wow, Gertie, that's super cool. What an accomplishment for your daughter. That's really cool. I should see it. I hadn't heard of that movie actually. But I live under a rock when it comes to new movies in the cinema. I don't follow what comes out. So Leanne asked, would you like to come with me to the park this afternoon? This is a social invitation. So you can say, Leanne invited me to go to the park with her this afternoon. This afternoon might change to that afternoon. And don't forget, me would need to change to her. Jonathan asked, do you want to go to the movies with me tonight? Jonathan invited Brianne to go to the movies with him tonight or that night. With me changes to with him. Brizelda, my mom advised me to go to the gym. Good. My girlfriend advised me to learn French beside English. Yeah. My girlfriend advised me to learn French on top of English, like another language. The police evicted me, no to change lane when driving. The police advised me not to change lanes while driving. My spouse invited me to go to her parents' home. Good. Jamal invited us for a dinner. I don't know if I will go. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, that's a good sentence, 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏. You're not using the reporting structure exactly. If you were, it would be Jamal invited us to go to a dinner with him. Brizelda, you need to have an article before the gym. And this is a special case where we often just say the gym for all gyms, but you could say a gym. My mom advised me to go to a gym is okay. But when we say the gym, it doesn't mean we're being specific. It's just one of those nouns where it's kind of like the gym, all gyms. Yeah, when I say I live under a rock, when it comes to new movies in the cinema, it means I don't follow, so I'm not aware of what's going on. When somebody doesn't know something that's very kind of common knowledge, or yeah, mic chart, this is what I mean. When somebody doesn't know a piece of information that a lot of the world knows, someone might ask you, do you live under a rock? It just means like, how do you not know this information kind of thing. It's like what's happening in the world and it's all over the news. If you don't know about that, maybe someone might ask you if you live under a rock, kind of like a bear sleeping through the winter, that kind of thing. So Ximing, Mandy invited me to join her birthday party. That's a good example, but we don't really use the verb join for birthday parties. We would just say, you know, Mandy invited me to go to her birthday party. Rodgal, you live under a rock? Yeah, sometimes. Lolly, Julia invited me to go for some beers with her. Nice. Well, the girl and a girl, it depends. When you're introducing the girl for the first time, you would say a girl, like, I saw a girl. And then you would change to the. The girl was wearing a hat. That kind of thing. The hat was blue. Okay? So, warn is the next one. Warn is like, you better not do that. Usually we use this when there are possible dangers in the situation you're trying to encourage someone to avoid, and it's usually used in a negative pattern. So again, there might be some conditional, you know, first conditional is often used for warning. My father said, if you come home after 12 a.m., you will be in trouble. So that would be, you know, like my father warned me not to come home after 12 a.m. in a negative pattern, very common. Warning can be like an order, but we're not telling someone what to do. We're kind of telling them what they should not do. But again, it's their choice if they do it or not. We're just, you know, giving them a warning and maybe telling them what will happen if they don't follow your warning. So the teacher said, I will take your phone away if you use it in class. Again, this is like you're saying, I will take your phone away. That's the negative consequence if you use it in class. Okay? So the teacher warned me not to use my phone in class, often used in a negative pattern. So remind, it's used when we say something to someone to help them remember what they have to do. Gertie, my best friend, warned me to avoid eating fast food. Good sentence, very good sentence. Oftentimes people will say, don't forget, for the reminder. And you do not need to repeat not to forget in your report. So my father said, don't forget to lock the door. So my father reminded me to lock the door. A lot of times I see students trying to repeat this part. So they say, you know, my father reminded me not to forget to lock the door. But that's kind of like saying something twice. You do not need to say reminded and not to forget. So delete that part and just go straight to the action. Sometimes people just say, remember. So Pete said, remember, don't eat too much for lunch because we're going to have a big dinner. So Pete reminded me not to eat a big lunch because we, in this case, if it's still going to happen, no back shifting, we are going to have a big dinner. But you could back shift because we were going to have a big dinner. Okay? So, let's go ahead and go to the document. Good sentence. Rodina reminded me to call the teacher. Good. So this is the document. I will share it in the chat with you guys after, no problem. So we've got our lecture notes here, other ways of reporting. Give more information to the person you are reporting to by choosing a good reporting verb. Okay? And these are all of the reporting verbs we've just gone over, right? Tell, order, ask, beg, advise, invite, warn, remind. All of these reporting verbs can add information and allow the listener to better visualize the situation that you're talking about. Okay, like if someone says to me like, oh, my friend begged me to give her a ride home last night, then I'm really picturing someone who's like, please, 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 please give me a ride home. I really need a ride home. Like a lot of requests over and over. So again, the word order, just a reminder, we've got our subject, reporting verb, somebody, and then not, and to with the infinitive base verb. Julia reminded me to do over my English homework. Good. 𝗶, my mother warned me to not walk in barefoot. So try to, well, not try, you should avoid separating to in the base verb and keep not before to. So my mother warned me not to walk barefoot. We don't have to say in barefoot, just barefoot. My mom reminded me to get some milk on my way. Good, on my way home or just, yeah, on my way is fine. Mike chart, you reminded me 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 school. So don't forget after me, you do need an infinitive. So like you reminded me to call 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 school or to visit 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 school, something. So what we're going to do, we'll do some practice. I'm going to say something and I want you guys to determine which reporting verb out of the ones we have practiced, which one would be the best one to use. Okay? So I can put the list here. This is the list. Whoops. This is the list. Okay? When I say it, think about which would be the best one to use, and then I will write your report on the document so you have examples. Okay? And you can just say, well, I'll try to use a variety of people. We can remind someone of something, can't we? Yeah, but then you would have to say, Mike's sentence would be, you reminded me about the 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do need that about. Mm-hmm. Which again would, you know, it's not a report, it's not reported speech, but it's totally possible, of course. All right, so first one, take off your shoes. How would you report that? Take off your shoes. I'll give you some time to write what you guys think in the chat, but what you are reporting is this. Take off your shoes. Why do you have your shoes on? Take them off. I guess I was quite strong. So I definitely don't blame you for choosing order. It's definitely not a serious or strict situation, but it's still okay. Julia ordered, we can just say us. If you used me, that's fine. Julia ordered me to take off my shoes. Good. Asked would be a little too weak because there was no please or anything. So definitely it should be told or ordered. Yeah, Julia ordered, don't forget Jamil, me or us to take off, oops, we're gonna keep it me because it's my shoes. If it was us, it would be our shoes, right? Julia told me to take my shoes off. Yeah, you can separate off, you can put that here or you can put that here. Exactly. Yeah, if you use told, that's also correct. So we can put it here as well. Julia told me to take my shoes off. Good. Okay, let's do another one. I really think you should probably leave your house an hour early tomorrow. I really think you should probably leave your house an hour early tomorrow. Traffic is going to be really bad. So I really think you should leave your house an hour early tomorrow. You guys think advise? I really think you should leave your house an hour early tomorrow. Traffic is going to be really bad. Nawar begged is too strong, and it's not like you need. Please leave early. It's not begging you to do something for me. It's me giving you advice. Yeah. She advised me to leave my house an hour early tomorrow. Atakan, good. Julia advised me to leave my house early the next day. Good. Yeah. Tomorrow can change to the next day. Good. Or could keep tomorrow. Both is okay. So that's good, that's good. Lolly, warn could work. Yeah, Julia warned me to leave my house early tomorrow. Yeah, that could work because there are negative consequences. Maybe you could get stuck in traffic. So warned is acceptable as well. Jamil, if you use suggested, then it's a little bit different. It's Julia suggested that I leave early. Okay, it's a different form a little bit because suggested takes a different form. We can't use me after suggested with the infinitive. Good, Miriam. Warned is okay as well. Julia warned me to leave my house early tomorrow. Okay, another one. So could you please turn up the volume of this song? Could you please turn up the volume of the song? Could you please turn up the volume of the song? Ask. Augusto, good stuff. Yeah. I would agree. Ask. Anakin, Julia asked me to turn up the volume of the song. Yeah. Good, so let's put that in here. Emad, Julia asked me to turn up the sound. Maya, good. Julia asked to turn up the volume of the song. So Maya, if you don't have an object after asked, then it changes who does the action. So then it would be me doing it, right? So it's different. Like Julia asked me to turn up the volume of the song because I said, could you please turn up the volume of the song? So me is doing the action. But if I delete me, then Julia asked to turn up the volume of the song would have been me asking, may I please turn up the volume of the song, right? May I please do that? So Julia would be doing the action, right? So it definitely changes if you have an object or not. Yeah. Good. Okay, another one. So, would you like to go? Would you like to go to a concert with me this weekend? Would you like to go to a concert with me this weekend? Well, Kelvin, you could, but yeah, that would mean more than one person, you know, could do it. Then the question would be, could you guys please turn up the volume of this song? And then it's like one person's going to do it, right? Yeah, Maya, it definitely changes the meaning of it. Yeah, for sure. Would you like to go to a concert this weekend? Good. Julia invited me to go to a concert, we would say. Next weekend, yeah. The following weekend. Julia invited me to go to a concert with her. Good. This weekend or that weekend. Good. Awesome. So I'll put that one down. Invite. And this could be this weekend or that weekend. It can be both, so I'll just put both for you there. This is optional, so I'll put it in brackets. Yeah. Mic chart, you can add an adverb politely, but you need to have the ly. Julia asked me politely to turn up the volume. That's okay, you can put an adverb in there. Sorry, okay, next one. How about feed the dog? You always forget, I need you to feed the dog. Feed the dog before you leave for school, please. Not please. Feed the dog before you go to school. Miriam, that's good. I would put with her after concert. It might sound a little more natural. Julia asked to go to Julia asked me to go to a concert with her. So Lolly, good job. I was going for told. I didn't mean to say you always forget. But yeah, just feed the dog before you go to school. Feed the dog before you go to school. That would be it, told. Julia told me to feed the dog before, yeah, before leaving for school, before I went to school. Slash before leaving for school. Both are good. We usually say leaving for school. And again, if you think reminded is good, that's fine. I said, you always forget to feed the dog before you leave for school. So yeah, Julia reminded me to feed the dog before leaving for school. To school is okay as well, actually. It's not wrong. And my mom reminded me to feed the dog before I went to school. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Good, good, good. Okay, one more, a couple more. Don't forget to book a doctor's appointment next week. Don't forget to book a doctor's appointment next week. Yeah, Gertie, intonation definitely has a strong force in the message. It definitely does. You can say before leaving for school because it's obvious that we're talking about the person. Like, feed the dog before leaving for school. Feed the dog before you go to school. Feed the dog before you leave to school. It's all like my mom told me to feed the dog before leaving for school. It's obvious that me is leaving for school. I know you could think it's a little bit, oh, is it before your mom left for school? But I think it's usually pretty clear. If it were connected more to the subject, we'd probably put that at the beginning, like before leaving for school, comma, my mom told me to feed the dog. The prepositional phrase is usually closest to what it is connected to. In this case, it would be the person who has to feed the dog, right? Julia ordered me to feed the dog before going to school. Ordered is a bit strong, but it's okay. Yeah. So with the reminded, yes, that's what I wanted, reminded. Julia reminded me to book, a doctor's appointment for the following week. That's a good report. Yeah. Yeah, Julia told me to book an appointment. Julia reminded me to book a doctor's appointment for the following week. So Gertie, we don't repeat not to forget. We just go straight to the action. Julia reminded me to book a doctor's appointment. Miriam, that's good. Julia reminded me to book an appointment with the doctor next week. Yeah, so Gertie, we don't say not to forget with reminded. It's just one or the other. Yeah. So if someone says, don't forget to book a doctor's appointment. Okay, what did she say? Oh, she reminded me to book a doctor's appointment. Yeah. And one more. If you borrow my favorite coat, I will eat your cookies. If you borrow my favorite coat, I will eat your cookies. If you borrow my favorite coat, I will eat your cookies. I don't know if that's a beg. If you take my favorite coat, I will eat your cookies. Good job, Barbara. That's right. Julia warned me not to, yeah, I think I said the verb borrow, but I shouldn't have because that's usually when there's like an agreement. So I will change that to take. Julia warned me not to take her favorite coat. Good job, 𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗃. Yeah, and you can say the whole thing. Otherwise, she would eat our cookies. And good to backshift will to would. Good job. We also say or else. Otherwise is good too. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Smrt for a moment. And let's compare the two different uses. Because now we have covered two different ways of reporting. So from the grammar from the last few streams, excuse me, we did backshifting, right? So in this case, she said, I'm happy. She told me that she was happy. Here, we could not use today's, told, because it's not a demand. It's not an order. This is an order. So she said, go home. She told me to go home. They said, we aren't having a good time. They told me that they weren't having a good time. The teacher said, study more. So this is an order. The teacher told me to study more. I said, I will help you. I told you that I would help you. Backshifting. The man said, be quiet. So the man told the other man to be quiet. So here, we're just reporting general statements with told. Statements. Okay, statements. But on this side, these are orders or demands, so we can use today's grammar. Ask, same idea. Do you want to stay or leave? Just a general question. She asked me whether or if I wanted to stay or leave. This is a request. Could you turn off the TV? So I could say, I asked you to turn off the TV, because it's a request. They asked, where are you from? Just a question, not a request. So yes, previous grammar. They asked us where we were from. In this case, he said, please don't leave early. This is a request, so we can use today's grammar. He asked him not to leave early. You asked, when are you going to see the movie? You asked me when I was going to see the movie. Okay, it's not a request. In this case, the teacher asked, could you please work with John? This is a request. So the teacher asked me to work with John. You could say borrow, Mark, but it's just not like, usually when you use borrow, it means that there's been an agreement, right? So in this case, I was like warning someone, so it's not an agreement. So I made a mistake. I should have used the verb, take. If you take my coat, I will eat your cookies. So let's compare two ways of reporting. Okay, so sometimes a sentence may be reported two or more different ways. Okay. Jane asked, do you want to go out for dinner with me? So I can, this is a social request, right? I can use backshifting reporting where I use if and I back channel the verb, backshift the verb. Or I can use today's with invited, right? So both options are good. Jane asked if I wanted to go out for dinner with her, or Jane invited me to go out for dinner with her. These are both fine, right? Barbara, that's true. We can use it in both ways, okay? So, but there is a difference in meaning, and that's what we're going over now. Up here, sorry. We can use told, okay, with just reporting a regular sentence like say, okay? But then we have to use backshifting and changing the grammar tense like this, okay? We can't use today's grammar. Today's grammar is only about orders, reporting orders, okay? Noir, that sounds good. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, that definitely, I probably made a mistake of what I said there, but too advanced for this class right now. My mother said, you must clean your room. So I can say must can change to had to. My mother told me that I had to clean my room. Or in this case, because it is like an order, I can use today's grammar. My mother told me to clean my room. Yeah. The teacher said you should study at least 4 hours a week. Should does not backshift to anything. So the teacher told me that I should study at least 4 hours a week. Or because should is like advice, I can use today's grammar. The teacher advised me to study at least 4 hours a week. Okay? And again, there are, sometimes differences. It depends on the situation, depends on people's body language, their voice, whether you choose, order or tell or warn or advise, like that kind of changes things as well. Okay? So, if we go down here, we can put a couple examples here. So for example, my friend asked me if I wanted, my friend asked me if I wanted to join them for dinner. Okay. Or my friend invited me to go or to join them for dinner. Very similar, but a little bit different, right? My mom told me that I had to clean my room, for example, or my mom told me to clean my room. Good. A couple examples for you. All right, so this I will put in the group chat for you guys, and you can read through it again on your own to make sure you're feeling good with this grammar. But yeah, I think we'll finish it off there. Louisa, nice one. Yeah, we might say a concert, since I didn't say which concert. I just said a concert. But yeah, good job. Pillar, ordered would have been okay as well. But ordered is just really, really strong, so. All right, well, hello to those joining right at the last second here, but we're just finishing off, so thanks guys for joining in again. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. You are late. We're just finishing, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. But that's okay, you can watch it now, watch it back, and yeah. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you guys next week. I'll be here, and we're going to talk about phrasal verbs a little bit more as well. So that's always useful. So, hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Okay? Bye-bye.